What's up, Train Athletic? Coach Dennis here. I want to talk to you guys real quick about calories. If you are just getting started with our Strength, Power, Physique program, or if you're getting into the muscle building challenge, the very first thing you ought to be doing is setting your calories. Now, if you just recently set your calories with Coach Jordan Drill or myself, then cool, you are good to go. I'm not suggesting you change that based on this video, but you can watch along just to get kind of a peek behind the curtain at the science behind why certain calories are selected. If you are doing the muscle building challenge, I'm going to quickly make a case for why you should be at the high end of recomposition. All of you should have our Strong 101 document. If not, please message me directly or get with me in the gym to make sure you get a copy of that. In that document, there is a small chart that explains calorie ranges for different goals: weight loss, recomposition, and gain, right? And so essentially calorie deficit for weight loss, calorie maintenance for recomposition, and calorie surplus for weight gain. So today I want to talk quickly about recomposition. So what does recomposition even mean? Well, first, if you go over to S2, get your in-body scan, you're going to see several categories and metrics on that printout. Two of which you're going to see is skeletal muscle mass and body fat mass. Now, for a lot of people, they're going to see that their weight in muscle is less than their weight in body fat mass. Kind of a rough definition based on that would be that you are fat. I'm not mean that to be offensive, but you're more fat than you are lean. You have more body fat than you have lean mass. So the idea is, rather than focusing on total body weight loss, we don't necessarily cut your calories and starve you. What we do is we focus on resistance training, which builds muscle, eating a lot of protein, which helps build muscle, and getting the adequate amount of calories so that you are building your weight in skeletal muscle to exceed your weight in body fat mass. When that bar is longer than that bar, now, again, a rough definition is you're lean. You have more lean tissue than you have fat tissue. Cool. So that's recomposition. So how much should I eat, or why are we suggesting? So our range for recomposition is somewhere between your body weight in pounds multiplied by 12 to 15. How do you decide and why this range? Okay, so when you're selecting calories, what we need to consider is that calories are essentially a reflection of the amount of energy you need to live, right? So your daily total energy expenditure. And there's several things that go into this formula. So the first thing you have is BMR, or basal metabolic rate. Essentially, that's the amount of energy it takes just to keep your body in homeostasis, alive, breathing, organs functioning. If you were just going to sit on the couch all day long and then go to sleep at night, right? Literally just the cost of being a vegetable. Okay? After that is you have NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis, basically the energy it costs to just walk around, do some chores around the house, go to the grocery store, go to work, tie your shoes, pick up the kids, all that stuff. Very, light, normal activity, right? I can write, yeah, activity. That says activity. Let's go with that. Next would be exercise, right? And these two often get categorized together. Basically, it's your total active energy expenditure. And exercise is obviously going to be a little bit more intense than sort of lightly walking around during the day. Although I would not get too carried away. So for those of you who are training here in our Strength, Power, Physique program, to be honest, most days you're burning 300, maybe up to 500 calories. I would say probably almost never more than that. I would probably err on the side of 300 calories per session. So BMR, non-exercise activity, exercise activity, then you have DIT or DIT, Diet-Induced Thermogenesis. This is basically just how much energy your body needs to digest the food that you have to eat. And so I should say this. This is typically where the formula ends. This is what you'll see, right? If you go into MyFitnessPal, it's going to calculate this for you, and then it's going to ask you about your activity level, and then it's going to add this in. Most likely it's not adding the diet-induced thermogenesis, and almost certainly it's not adding in muscle building. But these things do cost energy, right? So, for example, my BMR at 200 pounds is 1,850 calories, and that's based off of this Mifflin St. Jour formula. That's what MyFitnessPal uses. There's a whole science that goes behind it, but you can just kind of trust that. And if you want to see that, I could put a link so you can see your BMR according to that formula. So mine is 1850. Again, if I was just going to sleep and sit on the couch and stare at the wall all day, I would need to eat at least that much in order to not lose weight. Again, so MyFitnessPal also has a little blog, and I can post that link as well. If you're just walking around and just sort of lightly living a leisurely life, you're probably really only burning about 200 more calories a day. So I have my NEAT set at 200. And then, like I said, training in here, probably only another 300. So about an extra 500 calories for activity in the day. And then I eat very high protein. And so a rule of thumb for the what was it called? Sorry, I am not redoing this. Is like my 5th take, by the way. I've got a lot of bloopers. Maybe I'll post them later. But when you talk really fast, it's hard to keep your concentration. Anyway, the diet-induced thermogenesis, thank you. Rule of thumb is that's about a 10% add-on to your daily caloric expenditure, right? And then protein will influence that up even a little bit more. Protein costs most energy to digest, carbs would be second, and fats would be last. And fat's almost like a wash, right? So anyway, 10% would be about, I think it's like 185. Oh yeah, so 185 calories for me, but I'm rounding up a little bit to consider that I eat very high protein. So I went up not quite 100 calories, but to 250. Anyway, for round number purposes. And then, okay, I've said a lot. There's no way I'm keeping this under 10 minutes, but here's my final piece. I talked about this a little bit in a previous video. Muscle building. It takes about 2,700 calories, 2,800 calories to build a pound of muscle. For a man, you could probably do that in a month, maybe 2 pounds. For a woman, it's about half that for each. So if you're thinking, let's say high end, 2 pounds of muscle in a month, 2,800 calories is about extra 100 calories a day for 1 pound a month, and then multiply that extra 200 calories per day if you're a man, if you want to try and build 2 pounds of muscle per month, and that's assuming you're going hard 5 days a week in the gym, okay? This is very important because if you do not supply your body the extra calories to build the muscle, it will not do so efficiently. And it's a very easy concept for most people to wrap their head around the 500 calorie rule. Extra 500 calories is a pound of fat in a week, and minus 500 calories is a pound of fat lost in a week. But that's assuming like you live in this land, this light activity or this vegetable land of BMR. But we're doing resistance training. You are different from the general population where they're making all these assumptions. You're breaking down your muscles and they want to repair, they want to grow. Give yourself the extra 200 calories to build the muscle. Okay, that's a whole lot about what? All the way back to the beginning. It still lands me in recomposition. So, using myself as an example, we add this up, my 1850 BMR, my 200 calories of light activity, my 300 of intense exercise, my 250 of eating a high protein diet, and extra 200 to try and aggressively build muscle, lands me at about 2,800 calories. Guess what? 2,800 calories is my body weight times 14. It's not even the highest end of our recomposition range. So, yes, that was 11 minutes to explain why you should just trust us, and if you want to build muscle, be at about 14 or 15 times your body weight in pounds with 1 gram of protein per day, or per body weight per day, in order to build muscle. That is the extent of my concentration. I apologize for the breaks in concentration, but yes. Okay, cool. I'll probably somehow make a montage of the bloopers that went into this. I don't know. I guess I need more caffeine on a Tuesday to do a lesson plan. It's also awkward looking at yourself in the phone and not having people in front of me, but that's that. So good luck on your muscle building journey today. If you're setting your calories, I highly recommend body weight times 14 to 12. And, you know, obviously if you have a super active day where you go out and walk a half marathon or something like that, then you're going to need to account for those calories. But yeah, that's that. All right, guys. Whew! We made it. Post your questions post your questions in the comments, or if you have comments, comment. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go get some coffee now. All right, y'all. Out. Have a good one.